Have you ever paused to consider the true nature of trust? It is often called the foundation of all human relationships, this invisible thread that binds people together, giving a sense of security, understanding, and connection. But what if that foundation isn't as solid as we think? What if trust, like sand slipping through our fingers, can be lost in an instant? As we navigate the complexities of human relationships, it becomes clear that not everyone deserves the trust we extend so freely. Yet, knowing who to trust and who to keep at a distance is a profound challenge. Are you willing to question everything you thought you knew about the nature of human connections? Today, we'll dive into the intricate fabric of trust and uncover 9 types of people who may not deserve your trust and respect. This isn't just a list. It's a journey into understanding the darker side of human nature and the subtle ways people can erode the peace of mind we hold dear. Together, we will explore the insights of Stoicism, guiding us through the process of recognizing these personalities and protecting our inner tranquility. Stay with me until the end, for this journey promises not just to change how you see others, but also how you guard your own peace. Let's begin. 1. The Manipulator, Masters of Deception. Manipulators, have you ever encountered one? Perhaps they appeared in your life as a friend, a colleague, or even a family member, but beneath their charming exterior lay a maze of deceit and cunning. A manipulator is someone who knows how to twist reality, bending situations to serve their interests while leaving you feeling confused and uncertain. They are masters of playing with perceptions, often blurring the lines between truth and fiction. Stoicism teaches us the importance of maintaining control over our own minds and perceptions. But how do you maintain that control when someone is constantly trying to reshape your reality? Manipulators thrive on this psychological game, seeking to gain the upper hand by creating an environment where you begin to doubt yourself. They use lies, half-truths, and psychological pressure to achieve their aims, often leaving emotional scars in their wake. Recognizing a manipulator is the first step toward protecting your inner peace. Be alert to the signs. Are they often vague or evasive when you ask for clarity? Do they change their behavior based on their needs, showing a different face to different people? Do you often feel like you're walking on eggshells around them, fearing their unpredictable reactions? These are the subtle indicators of manipulation. Stoicism encourages us to set boundaries with those who undermine our sense of self. For the Stoic mind, maintaining peace is more valuable than maintaining a toxic relationship. Ask yourself, is it worth sacrificing your peace of mind for the sake of keeping someone who distorts your reality close to you? As Marcus Aurelius himself reflected, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. A manipulator will attempt to dye your thoughts with their own agenda, but you have the power to resist. Establishing firm boundaries is not an act of aggression, but one of self-respect. When you encounter someone who seeks to manipulate your thoughts and emotions, remember that stepping back can sometimes be the most courageous choice. Communicate your discomfort firmly, and if the manipulation persists, choose distance over dysfunction. As we explore the next type of personality that can challenge your trust, think about the relationships in your own life. Have you set the necessary boundaries to protect your well-being? Or have you allowed someone to color your thoughts with their deception? In our next section, we will meet the individual who hides their true intentions behind a mask of criticism. 2. The incessant critic, a mirror reflecting their own discontent. Criticism, when constructive, can be a tool for growth. But what about the person who never stops criticizing, who finds fault in everything and everyone around them? This is the incessant critic, a person who seems to have an endless supply of negative observations, directed not just at you, but at the world in general. They might present themselves as honest or blunt, but their constant critique often reveals more about their own dissatisfaction than the flaws they claim to see in others. Have you ever found yourself wondering, why can't they just let things be? It's a natural question when dealing with the incessant critic. Stoicism teaches us to remain indifferent to praise and blame alike, but that doesn't mean we should ignore the impact of relentless negativity. Criticism that serves no purpose but to degrade or undermine can slowly chip away at one's sense of self-worth. The key is to recognize when a critic's words are more about their internal struggles than any real shortcomings on your part. Are their comments aimed at helping you improve, or do they leave you feeling smaller and less capable? Do they focus on trivial matters, blowing small imperfections out of proportion? Often, these critics project their own inner turmoil outward, using others as a mirror to avoid facing their own flaws. As Marcus Aurelius would advise, when you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. How can you cherish this privilege if you allow a critic's negativity to cloud your mind? The practice of Stoicism teaches us to detach from what we cannot control, and the incessant critic's behavior falls squarely into that category. We can't change their outlook, but we can choose how much space their words occupy in our thoughts. Distance is sometimes necessary to preserve your mental well-being. While it may seem harsh, think of it as creating a space for clarity and positivity. This doesn't mean you stop caring for the person. It means you value your peace enough to not let it be diminished by constant negativity. In the end, true wisdom lies in knowing when to listen and when to walk away. As we move to the next personality type, let's reflect. Who in your life brings you criticism without compassion? And what can you do to guard your inner calm against their words? Up next, we explore the perpetual friend to everyone, a person whose warmth may hide a more self-serving nature. 3. The perpetual friend to everyone. Charm without depth. We all know someone who seems to be friends with everyone. They're always the life of the party, effortlessly charming, their presence like a burst of sunshine in any room. Yet beneath this affable exterior, there often lies a more calculated nature. This type of person is driven by the need to be liked by all, to be the center of attention, but not necessarily to form deep, meaningful connections. Do you ever feel like you're just another face in their crowd of admirers? This is the risk of engaging with the perpetual friend to everyone. To the Stoic mind, true connection is not about how many friends you have, but the depth of those relationships. A friendship that lacks sincerity is like a beautifully wrapped gift box, only to be found empty inside. Their charm can be misleading, as it often masks a desire for approval rather than a genuine interest in others. They might seem endlessly helpful, always ready to lend a hand or a sympathetic ear. But when the time comes for emotional support or commitment, you may find that their warmth quickly fades. For them, relationships are a means to an end, a way to boost their own self-esteem and social standing. Think about it. Is it worth investing your time and energy into someone who values your presence only when it serves their needs? Stoicism guides us to seek relationships that enrich our souls, where honesty and authenticity flourish. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about the value of integrity, and this extends to the people we choose to surround ourselves with. A true friend is one who shares in your joy and your struggle, not just the spotlight. Before we continue, let me remind you that staying with us through this video will shed light on many more types of personalities that may be taking a toll on your life. Understanding each of these will help you navigate your social world with greater clarity, ensuring that those who remain in your life contribute to your peace rather than detract from it. Now, let's turn to the next figure, the pretender of attention. Someone who seems present but is anything but. 4. The pretender of attention, the illusion of engagement. Have you ever spoken to someone who seemed to be listening only to realize that their mind was somewhere else entirely. The pretender of attention can be a frustrating figure, offering empty nods and half-hearted acknowledgments while their focus drifts away. They might murmur phrases like, "I understand," or "That's true," but their eyes betray their disinterest, often glued to their phone or wandering off into the distance. Stoicism emphasizes the value of being present in every moment, to give our full attention to the task or person before us. But what happens when those around us fail to offer the same respect? The pretender's lack of true engagement is a subtle form of disrespect, as if to say that the time you offer them is not worthy of their full presence. Engaging with such individuals can leave you feeling empty, as if your words have been thrown into a void. Ask yourself, is it worthwhile to pour your energy into a conversation where your thoughts are not truly heard? Stoic philosophy would remind us that we must respect ourselves enough to walk away from interactions that drain rather than enrich us. Valuing your own time means recognizing when it is not being appreciated by others. There is a power in choosing silence over words wasted on inattentive ears. It's not about cutting people off, but rather about directing your energy where it will be valued. Reflect on your own interactions. How many of them are genuine exchanges, and how many are filled with the pretender's polite but empty affirmations? Next, we delve into the one who lacks empathy, a person whose emotional blindness can cause harm without remorse. How do you protect yourself from such a presence? Let's find out. 5. The person lacking empathy, a heart cold to others' pain. Empathy is the bridge that connects us to the feelings of others, allowing us to share in their joy and understand their sorrow. But what happens when someone is missing this fundamental human trait? A person who lacks empathy can be a dangerous presence in your life, as they often treat others like chess pieces, pawns to be moved without regard for the emotional consequences. This absence of empathy means they may hurt others without a second thought, focusing solely on their own desires. For the Stoic, the lack of empathy in another person is a red flag, a sign that it may be time to set firm boundaries. Without this inner capacity to understand the feelings of others, they are prone to actions that can cause deep emotional wounds, often without remorse. Think about your own experiences. Have you ever encountered someone who, despite seeing the pain they caused, seemed entirely unaffected by it? Such interactions can leave you feeling unseen, as if your emotions are irrelevant. Stoicism teaches us to accept that we cannot change others, but it also teaches us the importance of safeguarding our own well-being. As Marcus Aurelius put it, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When dealing with someone who lacks empathy, be cautious of how much of yourself you reveal. Not every person deserves to know your struggles or share in your vulnerabilities. The ability to recognize this lack in another is a form of emotional self-defense, a way to keep your peace intact while avoiding unnecessary pain. Have you encountered someone like this in your own life? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your story could help others navigate similar challenges. As we continue, let's turn our attention to those who thrive on chaos and conflict, the provocators. 6. The constant provocator, thriving on chaos and discord. Have you ever met someone who seems to find joy in stirring up tension? They might seem harmless at first, but over time you notice a pattern: small remarks, subtle jabs, and actions that keep others on edge. This is the constant provocator, a person who delights in upsetting the emotional balance of those around them. They are skilled in the art of irritation, planting seeds of doubt and frustration that slowly take root. Why do they do this? For some, it is a need to feel control in situations, to observe how their words can change the atmosphere of a room. For others, it is a deeper insecurity, masked by a desire to see others unsettled. Stoicism teaches us to maintain our calm even when others seek to provoke us. But this does not mean we should willingly remain in the presence of those who habitually disrupt our peace. Ask yourself, have you ever felt your mood shift negatively after an encounter with such a person? This is no coincidence. Provocators thrive on your reaction, feeding off the emotional turmoil they create. They are not interested in resolution or understanding. Their goal is simply to provoke. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." For the Stoic mind, the antidote to the provocator's behavior is to remain unshaken, to refuse to play the game they set up. However, recognizing when their presence is consistently detrimental is a key step toward protecting your mental well-being. Sometimes, the wisest choice is not to engage at all. Before we move on to the next type of personality, consider this. Are there provocators in your life whose presence you tolerate despite the discomfort they cause? If so, it may be time to reassess whether their place in your life is truly worth the cost to your peace. Up next, let's explore the perpetual victim, those who constantly find themselves trapped in cycles of misfortune. 7. The perpetually troubled, trapped in a cycle of self-created chaos. Everyone faces difficulties in life, but some seem to encounter adversity at every turn. These individuals, the perpetually troubled, live in a state of constant crisis, always recounting stories of misfortune and struggle. But look closely, and you may find that these endless problems are not simply a matter of bad luck. They are often the result of their own choices and actions. Why do they attract so much chaos? The perpetually troubled often struggle to take responsibility for their role in creating the circumstances they lament. They may make impulsive decisions, refuse to learn from past mistakes, or seek out drama as a way of feeling important. As a result, they remain in a cycle of struggle, and those who become involved with them risk being drawn into their web of self-created problems. Stoicism teaches the value of accepting life's challenges with resilience and learning from our errors. But the perpetually troubled often do the opposite, blaming others or fate rather than reflecting on their own actions. It is easy to feel compassion for them, but at what point does compassion become a burden? When interacting with someone who constantly shares their troubles, it's crucial to ask yourself, are you helping them or simply becoming entangled in their chaos? As Marcus Aurelius advises, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. This means prioritizing your own peace and well-being rather than allowing yourself to be pulled into another's endless struggles. While offering support is a noble act, Stoicism reminds us that we must not sacrifice our tranquility in the process. It's possible to offer a listening ear without becoming enmeshed in the chaos. And sometimes, the most compassionate act you can perform for yourself is to take a step back, allowing the perpetually troubled to find their own way out of the labyrinth they've created. Next, we turn our attention to a particularly dangerous type, the master of duplicity, a figure whose friendly exterior conceals a penchant for spreading gossip and falsehoods. How can you recognize and protect yourself from such a presence? Let's find out. 8. The master of duplicity smiles, concealing a web of deceit. Not all smiles are genuine. The master of duplicity is someone who presents a friendly face but harbors a darker intent behind the scenes. They might seem like a loyal friend, but in private they weave stories that tarnish reputations and create rifts between people. This duality is their hallmark, a warm demeanor on the surface and a cunning manipulator in the shadows. What motivates them? For some, it is a desire for control, a need to feel superior by influencing others' perceptions. For others, it may stem from insecurity, using gossip as a way to shift attention away from their own flaws. Whatever the reason, their actions can be devastating, undermining trust and spreading discord. Stoicism teaches the importance of honesty and integrity, both in ourselves and in those we allow into our lives. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Yet the master of duplicity thrives on a lack of transparency, blurring the line between truth and falsehood. How can you guard yourself against such a person? The first step is vigilance, observing whether their words align with their actions. Do they speak kindly to you but share malicious gossip behind others' backs? Are they quick to share information that doesn't seem to benefit anyone but themselves? These are telltale signs that their loyalty is conditional, shifting as it suits their needs. The decision to distance yourself from such a person is not an act of betrayal, but of self-preservation. After all, how can you build a foundation of trust with someone who thrives on duplicity? Recognizing this behavior and choosing to step away allows you to preserve your peace and keep your social environment free from unnecessary drama. As we move to our final type, the toxic individual, consider the role of honesty in your own relationships. Are there people in your life whose actions do not align with their words? It may be time to reconsider their place in your life. 9. The toxic individual, architects of emotional chaos. There are few things more draining than being around a toxic individual. They are masters of negativity, constantly bringing down the energy of those around them. Whether through harsh criticisms, manipulative behaviors, or disrespect, their actions create a toxic environment where happiness and productivity are suffocated. What makes them so dangerous? It's their ability to undermine the well-being of those around them, turning small disagreements into major conflicts, and their tendency to refuse accountability for their actions. Toxic individuals are often quick to shift blame, deflecting any responsibility for the discord they cause. Stoicism encourages us to be steadfast in our virtue, even when confronted with negativity. But the teachings of Marcus Aurelius also remind us that there is wisdom in knowing when to protect oneself from harmful influences. Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been. However, choosing not to be harmed doesn't mean tolerating toxic behavior. It means recognizing when to set firm boundaries and walk away. Have you ever felt emotionally exhausted after spending time with someone, as if their very presence saps your energy? This is often the hallmark of a toxic person. It is not your responsibility to carry the burden of their negativity, nor should you feel guilty for stepping back to protect your own mental health. Respecting yourself means drawing a line in the sand, making it clear that you will not tolerate disrespect or manipulation. It may involve difficult conversations or even ending a relationship. But remember, true strength comes from choosing what is right for your own peace of mind. In a world full of challenges, the last thing we need is a companion who thrives on creating more. Trust is a precious thing, but it must be given wisely. Not everyone in your life deserves your trust and respect, and learning to recognize those who may harm your peace is a vital skill. Stoicism offers a timeless guide in this journey, reminding us to stay true to our values and to maintain our inner calm even amidst challenges, but it also teaches us the importance of setting boundaries and walking away when necessary. If you've found value in this journey of understanding the complexities of human relationships, I encourage you to reflect on your own experiences. Which of these personality types have you encountered, and how have you handled them? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your story might offer guidance to others navigating similar challenges. Remember to like, subscribe, and share this video if you believe these insights can benefit someone you know. By spreading awareness, we help each other cultivate relationships that enrich rather than drain us. Thank you for joining this journey of discovery, and may your path be filled with genuine connections and inner peace. See you next time. and may your days be guided by the wisdom of Stoicism.